Hello everybody, it's me, Ember, and welcome to my Pixelmon world. I just kind of wanted to make a video to show off this world that I have been building for about a week now. I kind of figured, hey, I'm making this world, I've been sharing it on my Discord a bit, so why don't I just go ahead and make a video where I can give a tour every week, maybe give updates. This is basically just what I do in my spare time when I'm not working on YouTube stuff. So it's not going to be like a series or watch me build unless I just randomly decide to do that. Also, don't mind my skin, I forgot to switch back to my other one. Ember still has golden eyes, so don't mind that. Alright, so this, as you could see, is in a traditional Pokemon game, this would be your room. It's kind of like the house in Nuvema Town in Black and White, where you have the upstairs kind of attic-y portion. You have a nice window that gives a view of the town. You have your bed, your chest, which I put a badge case in here for whenever I do make the gyms. You can go ahead and put all the badges in. We have our bag, which has all the items like Pokeballs and stuff, which these bags, if you're not familiar with Pokemon, with Pixelmon, are very useful because normally if you have a backpack mod and you put stuff in it from Pixelmon in that backpack, you can't actually use it in battle. But if it's in one of these backpacks, you can actually use those in battle still, so you could still use Pokeballs and stuff that you put in this bag here. I also decided to give you, a PC, a staple in any Pokemon game. You have your clock, and also a little chair here. Oh, don't mind the lag. As you can see, there's also a bunch of barrels here for storage, since this is the attic. But the rest of the house, you're living with your mom here. Oh, hello, sweetie. Welcome home. Stay as long as you'd like. Oh, and your Pokemon are welcome to stay as well, of course. I love seeing little guys running around. So yeah, you have your mom. I don't know what your dad's gonna be yet, but the mom's here. And of course, this is the kitchen, as you could tell. We have some seats. We have a crafting table. You can't actually put anything. Sorry, it's a cooking pot. This is how you make curry in the game. You can put in berries and an ingredient like the fancy apples or pungent roots or big leeks or whatever. You can put those in there and then you light it with the flint and steel and then you can make curry that you can feed to your Pokemon. I'm pretty sure you can't actually store stuff in the fridge. It's just kind of for decoration. At least I haven't been able to open an inventory for it. I think they used to be able to, but I haven't managed to do it. The oven does actually act as a furnace though, which I think is really nice. But I also have, food items here, and here, and here. This is all the stuff that you can use in curry, like berries and whatnot. And then we have a map here. As you can see, this is the town. The town that we are currently in is called Clear Sky Town. It is owned by the Clear Sky family, which is not on the map. I just started working on their ranch yesterday. So that unfinished house over there is theirs. And then we have a storage room here where I put a whole bunch of miscellaneous stuff. Everything in the chests and cupboards, chests and barrels in this town are things I got from Pixelmon drops. But then I put it in the town to make it feel a little bit more lived in. Now next stop, the second build in this town, was the laboratory over here. This belongs to Professor Crimson. I may give these guys custom skins in the future, but for now I'm just using the default skins that are in Pixelmon. So we have this nether laboratory, and she's studying the nether because the nether is something that's actually unique to Pixelmon. There are Z moves and Dynamaxing and Mega Evolution and stuff in this game, but they're also in normal Pokemon games. But the nether is not, so she is studying the nether. We have all these Pokemon here, and this is her researcher. and you can actually accept quests from him. So last time he wanted me to find a shiny Pokemon and then some water Pokemon, now he wants some redstone. So yeah, he's the quest giver in the town, the only one currently. And then there's Professor Crimson. Welcome to the lab, I'm Professor Crimson. Named after the crimson fungus, of course. It's not a tree, but it's close enough. It's the closest thing that the Nether has to a tree. As you can see here, I'm studying the newly discovered Nether and the Pokemon inhabiting it. If you'd like to help out, please speak to my assistant. You can find her in the enclosure. And then, of course, you can go into the Nether, but there's not actually anything built here yet. It just kind of Nether. But I do plan on making a second part of the laboratory that is actually in the Nether. I just haven't gotten to that point yet, because I felt it wasn't super important to the main focus of town at, the moment. But I may get to that eventually. Also, I love how there's this tiny Butt Sharp who's the leader of these giant Ponyard. He's the Ponyard that are giant in comparison. It's just fun. And then over here we have the house. Oh yeah, her. I'm sorry. The assistant is a she named Elaine, even though the game changed it to Leon. So we have trans assistant. But yeah, this is the house that they share together. They're not related or anything. It just Elaine is staying here with Professor Crimson because she moved in to help with the research. But she didn't have like a house or place to stay, and Professor Crimson has an extra room in this house. So she allowed Elaine to stay in here. Just like the other house, we have our living room. We have like a little desk area, and this is their storage thing. For all the houses that aren't ours, I decided to give them things that actually made sense with what they do, things that they might actually collect. So we have, iron, we have some mob drops, we have rubies, some stuff that you can find in the Nether, some of this underwater stuff, then all this Pokemon related stuff. All those I got from drops and bosses and things like that. And of course, she has her own kitchen with, still things as well. All these same amenities. She doesn't have a cooking pot though. And up here, there's a little seating area. There's a balcony with another, seat. There's a plant. There's an umbrella. So they could chill out here. There's not a whole lot of view here because it's mostly forest. You can kind of see the fishing shop from here though. And then we have all the books for the professor. We have Elaine's room here. We don't really have anything in here. And then there is Professor Crimson's room. We also don't have anything here yet. So yep, that's the upstairs of this area. And then, if we head on down here, as you can see, I actually tried to build with the land instead of like terraforming, just because I think I don't know, it meshes into the world a bit better. Alright, and then we have our fishing shop. We don't actually have a fishing shopkeeper, so she's just kind of a regular shopkeeper. So this is one of the Janets in the town because you can't have any name for the shopkeepers. But there's a shop here. You could buy and sell stuff. This is like the fishing shop. So they have the salmon, the cod, the tropical fish. Oh, I did not mean to do that. The tropical fish. Have some fish on the counter, cash register, and then just kind of other things related to like water mobs. And then over here is Janet and her husband Pierce's house. And in here we have, a kitchen, a nice sized kitchen, our living room. It's the smallest house in the village currently. Have the oven, all of their foodstuffs, and then their room. They have string, feathers, bones, oak planks, clay balls, just kind of things that I figured they might fish up. they have, you know, the string to make fishing rods, feathers because most of the time it's Hoot Hoots that end up in the water. See, look at that Hoot Hoot, proving my point immediately. So I figure that they probably end up getting a lot of feathers. And then, out here, they have a little pier. So Pierce has a pier, and he fishes, and you can evaluate your fishing rod here. And it's very nice. Oh, what's going on over there? There's just a random fire. I'm gonna guess that it was from the thunderstorm. There was a thunderstorm pretty recently. Alright. So that's their house. And then, if we go ahead and go on over here, we have basically like the blacksmith kind of mining area. It is also a shop where you can buy both Pokeballs, because as you can see, we have anvils outside, so they are responsible for making Pokeballs. And we have some stones, which of course you can use to evolve your Pokemon. Because I figured if they're mining, they might come across some rare evolution stones. And then of course they have all the Orlade stuff. They have some wood that they can use to, you know, make railroads and stuff. They have a bunch of mob drops. And they have apricorns and Pokeball lids and whatnot. You know, things that they would use to make Pokeballs and stuff. And then if you go over here, there's more of this. There's a minecart here, actually. But it kind of just takes you through this cave that was naturally here, naturally spawned here. I do actually pick up the Poke Chests, but then I replace them. So that way if anyone else... Because I was considering making this a map that you guys could play. So if anyone else would like to play, they can do so as well. So I may make it into a map that you could download. If I do that, you'll find it in the description, assuming I remember. So yep, you could just go through it, this cave. It takes you all the way to the end of it. All the way over. And the only modifications I made were if I needed to make like an incline. Now you can actually go back this way. It'll just take a little bit. There we go. It's very slow. Kind of forgets how slow minecarts are when you use powered rails all the time. But you get, you know, just enough speed from those to get through. Hello, Zubat. I didn't actually add powered minecarts until I needed to get through. So we can go ahead and come up here. Oh, it's a lot better about that in the other mine, which is a lot shorter, but it is there. Up we go. All the way back around. And then you can pop off right here. So that's this area. I'm gonna put a minecart back in here. And then we have, if you just continue on over here, we have this guy, I forgot what I named him, Henry, and his wife's house, which is just right on over here. They have a one-story house with an attic, of course. There's nothing in the attic, it's just kind of dark. I left it empty because I don't know. No particular reason. There's just an attic for things to be placed. Of course, they have a hammer. They have their own storage stuff, which I have feathers because I cleared some bird Pokemon while working on this house. So, you know, they were fainted on their property, so it's theirs. They have a little Vulpix. And of course, Henry has his roly-coly in there. This is his wife's Vulpix. It just kind of chills under the TV. And of course, they have their food stuff. Not as much, because this is a newer house. So this is Henry and Janet's house. And then, this is the biggest property. We have the Clear Sky family home, which of course is the family that basically founded Clear Sky Town. Oh, I fell in here. Oh, but that reminds me, actually, I forgot to show you guys the mine under this house. Since, of course, it was built on top of a cave, I didn't want to just block off the cave entirely, because that'd be rude to the wild Pokemon potentially living in here. They wouldn't, well, they would be able to get out, just another exit, but didn't want to hinder them too much. So you can, of course, go through here. It's smaller than another one, but you can go around. And it's just as fun. Hello, Buttlebee. Hello, Earthworm. So that takes you all the way through. So that's what's there. And of course, there's the other mine over that way. So it's the same cave, but there's different entrances. Now, in the Clear Sky Residence, it's gonna have 2 floors, but I've only finished the first one so far. So of course, we have the living room. This is for a larger family, so we have a table here, the stairs leading up. Now we have our first bedroom here with Holly. Mommy gave me the lily pup that hatched. She is my best friend. So she has a lily pup there. It's very cute. And then, one of her siblings shares a room with her. Then we have, of course, the kitchen. Pretty self-explanatory. Oh, hello, Ambrose. Then there's another bedroom for 2 more children. I imagine that the stone shopkeeper in, that building is one of the siblings, so he has one of the rooms here. And then there's nothing up here yet. And then, oh, I forgot to show this area. So on the other side, we have the washing machine. You have this bedroom, of course, and then you can go out to the actual ranch area. They have a Mudsdale here. It's actually a pretty small Mudsdale. Mudsdale get very big, but this Mudsdale is pretty small. So we can fit comfortably in this stable area. And then we have their wheat farm, which is still growing, because this is, again, a more recent build. And we have the windmill. In the windmill, you have hay, you have a composter, and a bunch of storage barrels. So that's what we have here. Now you may be like, Ember, is this the end of this world? It looks like you've showed us the entire town. Well, if you were observant, you may have noticed that there's actually another waypoint on my map. So, you can go to Windkeep City, which is a massive work in progress. It's going to take quite a while, but it is actually it's going to be a massive floating island above the ocean. So I built all of this 1 block at a time by hand. It's definitely not finished. It needs to be way bigger. But this is what we have so far. This is going to be where the flying gym is. So you can technically go up from the waterfall and then just kind of jump around there. But what you actually want to do is take a flying Pokemon and fly up here. So that's the actual way to get up, but you can also take the waterfall. And yeah, this is going to be where the flying gym is. All we have so far is a Pokemon Center, which of course I made first so you could have the waypoints that you could teleport to here. We don't actually have any homes for these people yet, but it'll be fine. They'll be fine. But the flying gym, I wanted to make the gym leaders my friends. So the flying gym in this city is going to be Vintaler, who, if you are familiar with the channel, is one of my best friends and is also a moderator on the channel. He's going to be the flying gym leader. He's going to be the 8th gym leader, because he is my best friend. And he's going to have a Corviknight, which I figured would make sense since this is going to be like a giant sky fortress castle. It's like, what better Pokemon for him to have than Corviknight? And he also really likes Corviknight, so I just figured that would work out fantastic. So we're going to have Corviknight. He's going to have Togekiss. He's going to have Altaria, Gyarados, and Staraptor. So that's going to be what his team is, which he felt that the team was good. Even though I haven't made it yet, we're also going to have a Ghost-type gym leader, who is another friend of mine, Stabby. And Stabby, she isn't a moderator, but again, she's a good friend of mine. And yeah, she's gonna have ghost types. And she's kind of chaotic, mischievous, and her online username is Stabby. Also, Vintaler, if you didn't know, means Windkeeper, so flying, it just makes complete sense. And Stabby is a ghost-type gym leader, and she's going to have, whenever it gets added to Pixelmon, Ceruledge is not in Pixelmon yet, but that's going to be her, you know, signature Pokemon, like how Corviknight will be Vintaler's signature Pokemon. She's gonna have Ceruledge, she's gonna have Aegislash, because again, it's Stabby, Sword. Or, you know, a pre-evolution of any of these. Except Ceruledge, she's going to for sure have Ceruledge. I don't know what point she's going to be in the game. She's gonna have Gengar, or pre-evolution, and she's gonna have Sableye. That's 2 of the gym leaders, and then we have a third, who is gonna be an electric-type gym leader, whose team we don't know, but he's Brian, who is my stepbrother, and he's going to have a signature Pokemon Rotom. Don't know which Rotom form yet, but he's going to have one. If we could do it in Pixelmon, we'd have it be kind of like the Striaton City Gym from Black and White, where he changes the Rotom form based on what starter you chose. So if you chose like a grass-type starter, you'd have a Rotom Heat. If you chose a water-type starter, you'd have Rotom Mow. If you chose a fire-type starter, you'd have Rotom Wash, but you can't actually do that in Pixelmon, so we'll have to figure out what he's going to have. And he still doesn't know what his team is yet. We're also assuming that he's going to have a Magneton or its evolutions. I mean, or anything in the evolution line, you know what I meant. Also, a ton of like water beach Pokemon spawn here because we're over the ocean. So I find that kind of funny. It's like, ah yes, the flying city. Wiglet. Where'd you go? Wiglet. Wiglet. Yes. Now, that's all the building stuff I have, but as you could see, I've clearly had Pokemon, because what I do is I'll build, and then I'll level up my Pokemon 5 levels, and then I'll build again, and then level up Pokemon, so I kind of have a mixture of actually playing Pixelmon and building. Now, I've actually caught Pokemon legally. I haven't, like, cheated them in, I haven't cheated in Pokeballs. All the Pokemon-related stuff I have done as intended, as you would in survival. All the money that I have because I have an aimed at coin Persian with Payday. So that's how I tend to make my money in this game to afford Pokeballs and stuff. So, I will introduce the team. We have our... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. See, like so. And then this will go to the fishing shop. So, we have our Persian, who you can actually ride on Persian, and Persian's fairly fast. So I have our Persian. We have a new addition to our team, Wooper. We have Houndoom, who we caught in the Nether, actually. There we go. And you can also ride on Houndoom. We have our Flaffy, who is also a new addition to the team, alongside Wooper. Because I only changed my team after I finish building something. So we have Flaffy. We have our pink Pidgeotto, which was a Pixelmon Valentine's event, where certain Pokemon can show up pink. So I managed to grab a Pidgeotto. And I have my starter, who is Dartrix. Dartrix technically should have evolved, but hasn't yet, because I think in Pixelmon it's determined by the time of day. Because there's a regular Decidueye and there's Hisuian Decidueye, and I kind of completely forgot that Hisuian Decidueye existed. But there's that. So we'll just have to see what Dartrix happens to evolve into, which version. But that is the team. They don't have all of the Gen 9 Pokemon yet. As far as I know, they have like Paldean and Wooper, they have Clodsire, they have Wiglet, and they have Orthworm. And also the starters. And they have a Wug Trio, of course. I don't remember if they have any others of the Paldean Pokemon, the Gen 9 Pokemon, but that's what we have. And we do have Wiglet. So we did manage to go ahead and grab that. Now, as you may know, I'll show you really quick. You can make custom NPCs, which is what I've done for all my builds so far. But you can actually... oh gosh. You can actually go ahead and put in whoever's name you want. So, for instance, Ventaler. So if you would like to be a NPC in my world, make sure to give me your player name and I can add you. And of course what you would like to be. So you could be a trainer. If you want to be a trainer, let me know what Pokemon you want to have. You could be a trader, so you'll just kind of ask for random Pokemon to trade. Be a chatting NPC, quest giver. So if you'd like to be an NPC, leave your Minecraft username in the comments and anything that you would like to be. If you're a trainer, try to have like reasonable level Pokemon. I mean, you could theoretically have like competitive IV trained team, but it might be hard to place you in my world somewhere where it makes sense. So just kind of let me know. I won't make any of you gym leaders though, because that's kind of reserved for like friends, moderators, you know, people who are actually close to me, who are very important to me to put as very important people in this region. And actually what I might do is I might make a gym of every single type and kind of pretend that they all have a tournament to decide, you know, kind of like how it works in Galar. They can all have a tournament to decide who's the gym leaders and who's the Elite Four, and who's just not participating in this run of badge collection. Of course, that's all headcanon though, because we can't actually incorporate that, and we can't, well, I mean, I think you can make them bosses. Can you? Yes, you can. So you can make them bosses and scale to player level, so I might actually do that. I have to see though. Have to see. All the trainers might be bosses, honestly. Just so that way it scales to whatever the player's doing. But anyway, that's my town. If you'd like to see more of this, my world, if you'd like to see more of this, let me know, leave a like or whatever. If you'd like to be, you know, someone in the world, you can go ahead and leave your Minecraft username. Keep in mind that it doesn't actually work super... Jon Snow. It doesn't actually work super well with slim skins, unfortunately, so if like you put me in... Maybe it'll work. There we go. If you put me in, it actually messes up my skin a bit. Because... I'm a slim skin. Compared to the Steve model. So it doesn't work as well. Why are you so tall? Hello? Why are you taller than me? This feels unfair. We are the same why? Anyway. So keep in mind, if you have a slim skin, you may not look as great. But if you have, you know, the default, like, Steve skin, then you should work fine. Anyway, that's all for this video. If you liked, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. If you'd like to see more of this, let me know. If you'd like to be in my world, also let me know. You know, comment down below your thoughts and whatever. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!